Welcome back to another Brew Spy, the Magic Guy. I'm your host, Sean, and tonight I've got a spicy, oh gosh, can we really keep this? Gosh, it's tempting to keep this when we're on the draw and we have Simeon and we have Lootings. Well, let's throw it all away. It'll be fun. Don't Thoughtseize me, bro. Don't Thoughtseize us. Don't Inquisition us. Don't have that. Don't be doing that. Don't be doing none of that. Alright, well, YOLO. That's not good. But we deserve that, right? If I'm going to keep loose hands like this. We probably just lost. I have to rip land. It could even be one of the swamps. It's like he's on the Is It Phoenix deck. It's a pretty popular deck lately. A lot of people giving it a try. But how are you guys doing tonight? It's not going to be a long stream per se. Oh, he's Storm. Actually, we're just toast. Yeah, we just never found land. That's really too bad. This also has to be like one of our worst matchups, right? I have like a surgical, a couple of brutalities out of the board. It's about it. I mean, we can board to not lose to the Empty the Warrants plan. This does have to be like one of our worst matchups, right? I mean, I'm just looking at our sideboard and thinking to myself, yeah, it's not going to cut it. Best case scenario, we see a red source, and then we can looting, and we find another land, and then that lets us grab mausoleum, or lets us mausoleum secrets into, well, it was a greedy keep. We should never keep hands like that. It was tempting though. When I was building the deck, I was thinking I might be occasionally tempted to keep a Faithless Looting Simeon Spirit Guide hand, but I should really never do that. So, at least we're learning this lesson in the first round, right, of the night. How am I not dead, Storm opponent? He's swinging with the brawl. And the problem is we're giving him ample time to do what he needs to do. I shouldn't need this many secrets. We already have... Oh, actually, we do want both secrets. Yeah, we should be dead now. I was going to say we do kind of want both secrets because we don't have... Sure, we have a wheel and we have a dominance. But, well, no, we have dominance for the living end, so we don't actually need... We should need this extra secrets is what I'm going to discard. Yeah, so while we're dying, I'll probably pan over to the deck while he's killing us, but I can show you kind of what my thought process was with the initial build. Graveyard. Because I've been kind of working on this in secret. Not that that's why I named the deck Living Secrets, but so basically it's a Mausoleum Secrets Living End brew. And Electro Dominance really was one of the missing things that the deck needed because the initial brew that I was working on was some combination of Mausoleum Secrets, Expertise, Living End, and a very black creature heavy version of the Living End shell. The only reason I'm playing Looting is because it's a Wheel of Fate deck. I'm not sure if I like that just yet. Looting makes sense to me if we're going to be playing Wheel. Just because it gives us that extra little bit of value with the card. Decides still not to go off. I could have sworn I put lands in this. I guess not. Game 2. So, as far as this kind of a matchup is concerned. Unfortunately, the Blood Moons don't do anything. I mean, these kinds of cards, Brutality's for sure. That's easy. And the Surgical. Yeah, so let's see. What do we want? We don't want Bedevil. We could play the Evar0s. This would hit if he has any sort of graveyard hate that's artifact based. And also the Enablers. Pyroclasm is good for empty the Warrens. The Explosives kind of function and do the same thing. I almost would rather have Explosives just because they can take out Brawl, whereas Pyroclasm can't. So these are some ideas. We can get rid of some of the cuteness, which is Archfiend. Well, actually, Archfiend does deal with the Empty the Warrens, so maybe we keep that. But we probably don't need Dragonlord. Well, Dragonlord helps us race. So what don't we need? We can probably get away with cutting a Evar0s. Two cuts. Okay, so we cut one of the Evar0s. I like to always have at least one copy just because it's a good tutor target. Arguably, Monstrous Carabid is one of the worst creatures in the deck. Not that I would cut a bunch of it, but I like that Architects is going to come in and do some triggers, which is kind of nice. Sure, it's a smaller body, but I actually really think the triggers on this is pretty relevant. Being able to Fate Seal the opponent, essentially, and then manipulate the top of our deck all at once is kind of nice. Because unless we have Dragonlord, we're not really killing all at once. We're kind of just doing the typical Living End thing. Now, if we think he's got Surgicals, we'll want Silent Gravestone. I don't think he's going to try to fight us on that axis. I don't think so anyway. We can cut maybe one more Carabid. Like, I either cut Dragonlord or Archfiend, or I'll cut like a couple of Cyclers and maybe one Expertise. But post-board, we don't want to change too much. We really can't sideboard more than like 3-ish cards. That's why you see 3 Blood Moons. Oh, this hand's pretty good. So this is Mausoleum Secrets will find Living End. What's nice about Mausoleum Secrets finding Living End is even if they've turned off the graveyard initially, you could still Secrets for it. Obviously, you'll want the graveyard to work at a later date. But yeah, this is probably fine. It's a little bit land heavy. We do need to make 2 land drops, and 2 of them need to be red for this hand to work because of the dominance. So that's fine. So this is pretty linear. It's just going to be cycle, cycle, Secrets for Living End, dominance. Dominance trying to remove one of their threats. We'll probably get the basic mountain with the Bloodstained Mire. It's a lot of lands. Well, now we can go cycle, cycle. I could be down for just going swamp, go, cycle, cycle. And that's, I mean, like, I really shouldn't keep a no-lander because the deck is only, I think, 17 land, but we got 4th Street Wraiths, 4 Spirit Guides. Trying to be full-blown degenerate here, more or less. But what's nice about the deck is you're piecing the Living End combo together with Secrets. Is this just Brawl go? Okay, well. Like, what we could do is I could just go get the Living End. Nice, okay. Simeon. So actually I get to cycle, then use the Simian. Nice. Turn 3. Not bad. So I think we actually want to Fate Seal the opponent. It's tempting to use it on us because we have a fetch land, though. We do have a fetch. Okay, Street Wraith Horror lands. We really don't want the land. We've hit a lot of land drops too, so I don't think we really need to worry about paying for Horror of the Broken Lands. I'd rather just pay for this rather than pay 2 life at this point against Storm, so top. So basically the plan is to shuffle away. We'll take the other Horror, but we'll shuffle away the rest. And we can kill them pretty quickly with Horror. Horror, of course, is the one that whenever you cycle it pumps. So we actually have a pretty solid clock here. You guys kind of see the evolution at work. I think that the Electrodominance was more or less what the brew was missing, and I borrowed some ideas from my teammate Evan and what his brew was or build was doing. So these will grow. You can kill, like I said, you can kill pretty quick with Horror of the Broken. We are a Faithless Looting deck, so no reason to play the Black Cleave Cliffs that I see. Like, we have all the mana necessary to cast everything in the deck, even the Yeheni's Expertise. Guess this is an end step Gifts. And again, maybe it was correct for us to use the Architects on the opponent and make them draw bricks. I was tempted to use it on myself just because we had a fetch land at the time. Made sense to me. I'm glad you guys tuned in. He's taking a while on the gifts, which gives me a little bit of hope that we might get a game 3 here. Might just be an Empty the Warrens hand. Did I bring in a lot of ways to get through that? Not really. Not really all that many ways. Check. Might be dead here, chat. But how are you guys doing tonight? I know it's the middle of the night. I'm not going to be live much longer. It's almost 2 a.m., but because I got work tomorrow. But part of the reason reason I'm up so late is because I took a nap today, which is nice. It's the little things, right? Am I dead yet? Am I dead yet? I guess if his hand is double grape shot, that would do it. That would be like the Nutter Butters, right? Because I think they only run 2 grape shots. Nice. Okay. We'll play another one. That was kind of a poor matchup. I would really not want to play this against Storm if I could help it. We also have Pauper that we could play. We still have a Pauper League to finish with the Inside Out combo. I'm still working on getting together the that Storm deck for Arena. Speaking of Storm, let's play another one of these throwaways. That's too bad. We may need to main board like the Brutalities or something. I mean, Brutality is solid because it gives us another discard outlet for the Dragon Lord, which otherwise I don't have other than Looting and Wheel of Fates. So, I mean, if it's that bad of a matchup, I mean, that and Burn could be really problematic for us. Like, maybe these do need to go into the main board, and then we make room otherwise. You could argue that we really only need 1 expertise, just because it's really just there so that we have a way to turn the Mausoleum Secrets into an enabler for the Living End. So if that was something we could do. The reason I wanted 2 copies though is because we're kind of drawing heavily through the deck. Like if we Wheel of Fate a Yeheni's Expertise away in the early game, but later we find out, crap, we need it. I kind of like the idea of 2. But that could be one of the copies of Brutality. And then we could always cut like a Carabit or 2. Like I don't want... Obviously I want to have a high density of these black creatures that we're putting into the graveyard. I wouldn't count Dragon Lord. So let's not count Dragon Lord, but let's count everybody else. How are we doing? 17. That's not bad. 17 plus, you know, we'll occasionally hit Spirit Guides and Dragon Lord Kolaghan that will go into the graveyard and we get to reanimate those as well. So, I mean, we could arguably cut like a Carabit or 2. It would make the secrets a little bit worse, but then overall, if we're pretty sure that we want access to a card like this, then we free up some sideboard space as well. So I can see cutting a couple Carabits because they're the most vanilla. We definitely want all our cyclers to be black, which as you can see that they are, right? Everything in the deck, except for our haste enabler and our mana creatures. Everything in the deck is black for a reason. That gives us some sideboard spots if we want to play like Fairy Macabre. Let's leave you a bit. Let me grab some more sideboard cards. What was something that we like would need to be able to actually contend with something like Storm? And I don't think the answer is just a pile of like unlike, well, Electro Dominance and Yeheni's Expertise are heavily affected by something like, I was thinking something crazy even like, I mean I'd rather just have more tutor targets for the Mausoleum Secrets. Preferably ones that we can get even if our graveyard's turned off, because we're not going to sideboard. Like, this style of deck is never going to sideboard these out entirely. Like, we're going to always have some number of secrets, even if it looks like they've got good ways to deal with our graveyard. That's part of the reason I'm testing Silent Gravestone. This will protect us at least from surgical-like effects. Cards in graveyards can't be the targets of spells or abilities. So that's kind of where my brain is. I'd like to have, like, another tutor target. Can you guys think of a juicy one? I mean, there's always Planeswalkers we could consider. we could consider a third Brutality if it's that good for the deck. Like if it really shores up a lot of our problematic matchups all in one. Which I think it does. I mean, it's going to help us against Burn, and it's also going to help us against things like Storm. All in one card. Hard to argue not running more copies of that. And granted, we're only going to be sideboarding 3 maximum of 4 cards, give or take, giving up like the Carabids or the Archfiend or the Dragonlord spot. Those are really just there, I think, to help the deck run smoothly, just to have a high density of cyclers. And then game one, we really just want to be doing our thing. We don't really want to reserve too many, if any, slots to technology. There's a cycler as well. Yeah, like we don't really want a lot of technology spots. Like we pretty much just want the deck to look like this. Could do some research and see what some other living end decks sideboard. I mean, like we could run something like, you know, Ricochet Trap or some redirection effects, but I almost still think we'd be better off just Brutality, like extra Brutalities. Surgical Slaughter, Bedevil, Terminate. And maybe even the Terminate is kind of a waste of a slot. That's fair. I like the Pyroclasm. I think that's going to stay. I was playing a Dark Blast originally. Maybe that's still a good idea. Even though Living End and Expertise is, of course, are sweepers. I mean, what else are we weak to? We got a bunch of Moons. I mean, maybe Brutality is just that good. Like, it shores up a lot of our bad matchups that we just play the playset. You guys have any ideas? I mean, I'd rather have some bullets, but I mean, Bedevil hits a lot of different things. So it gives us a tutorable artifact removal. Surgical, of course, is a sweet target, and then Slaughter Pact, just so we always have something to be able to get with the secrets. I mean, if this really fixes a lot of what we're weak against, then I like the idea of the playset. Not that I don't think I'd mainboard a playset. I'd rather still be a little bit streamlined, somewhat streamlined. Like, I don't think I want to go lower than this many cyclers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 cyclers. I don't want to go lower than that. And I know we've got Wheel of Fates and we've got Lootings, but let me pick these up from our sponsor card order. If you guys didn't know, we are sponsored by none other than Card Hoarder. They are a great place for all your digital Magic the Gathering Moto needs. Oh yeah, we still have a ton of balance. Awesome. They let streamers like myself borrow up to 500 tickets worth of digital card, which is great. Allows me to brew at a very fast pace. In fact, they just recently added, and I'm very excited about this feature, for people that have loan accounts like I do. I'm able to actually trade with the bots themselves. Finally, it used to be that I had to coordinate with one of the people working there. Now there's a button that if you have a loan order, you can have a bot trade with you and take the cards back and put them into the system. So that's great. We're going to be doing a lot more deck building. I might go back to building and brewing decks live with you guys and getting and trading in cards while we're live. We could even maybe consider doing Legacy and multiple Legacy decks in a stream. I would like to play a little bit more Robopod, especially since somebody sent me... oh, perfect. It's already here. Somebody sent me a video that someone was playing Robopod online, and that gets me excited. It's nice that the archetype is still seeing some play. They had a very different take on the deck, I'll admit. Like Sundering Titan, some cool stuff like that. It was a heavy choke build. It had like 2-3 choke in the sideboard. The deck, though, is very, very weak to lands, so we'd have to figure out a way for the deck to not be so weak to lands. I mean, there's a lot of like weird, janky legacy cards that was like, you know, lands you control can't be target or not target. There's like one that like makes them indestructible. Thanks for the host, Red Baron. We're gonna play another game. I'm gonna queue us, but we're just thinking about a legacy for a little bit. But so this is something I've been working on in secret. It's called Living Secrets, although some of the new technology was inspired by my teammate, stream teammate, Evar0s. Wow, I can't talk tonight. Evar0s. Wrong color, but the fairy's response could work. If you guys want his information, I'm part of a stream team that's built up of myself, Evan, and Fluffy Wolf, aka Douglas, aka the Wolf himself. So let's go ahead and play another game. I know it's got Dragon Lord Kolaghan in this. This was Evan's tech, so I definitely want to credit him with some of the technology. I don't think he had Archfiend of Ifnir. I like this card a lot in this red-black take on Living End. But TJ, so the glue is Mausoleum Secrets. Thank you for hitting that button. Science rules. Thank you. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for the host, TJ. For those of you in my show that don't know TJ, you must be living under a rock. TJ is a real-life commentator for Magic the Gathering for Wizards of the Coast. He also has his very own stream where he specializes in burn and all things burn-like. Great guy. I'm not just saying that because he's here. I really mean that. I've actually had the opportunity to meet TJ in person, so he's not just sweet on the camera, which I think is important because some of these guys, I'm not going to point fingers or guys and girls in the community, but it's like, you know, they're one way when they're on the camera and sometimes a different way when they're not. And, you know, I feel like TJ is one of the ones where he's very consistent, always been excited, always been a nice guy from what I've seen. So yeah, he's a good dude. Science rules. Oh, we have a thank you for that follow. Welcome to the BrewSpytheMagicGuy show, where we kind of build weird, janky decks. Oops. And if you want to look at the deck list while we're in game, the command is !deck. Okay, so this is a one-lander, but it's got some stuff going for it. It's got Mausoleum Secrets, which could find an enabler. This is kind of the backwards. We'd rather have the Electrodominance or the Yahenni's Expertise and then have to Secrets into the Living End. This has the opposite problem, unfortunately. So we may tweak the deck to change the numbers. Like, I thought about rebuilding the deck and only having 2 copies of Living End, but the Living End is so important to the deck, I think the 3rd copy makes sense. And then I think 2 Yahenni's is fine. It's not hard for us to get 4 black creatures in the graveyard. That's what I'm thinking about right now. I think we would keep this on the back of the Living End. We'll keep it. And I'll probably dump one of these Mausoleum Secrets. I might even dump the Wheel of Fate. Because we have everything we need in the hand, right? We already have a Living End in hand. We just need either your Yahenni's or an Electrodominance is all we need. Yeah. And let me just say those names out loud. Trapixium, thank you for hitting that button. Welcome to the BrewSpy Show. And The Biscuit Jesus. It was great getting to hang out with you. Esper Shadow deck is dope. I'm bringing it to another Star City event this coming weekend. My buddy Jim and I were going to a Star City event. And, sorry, I'm tanking opponent. I've got some new technology for the deck. So we dumped the Dragon Lord. Yeah, so we'll dump Dragon Lord and we'll dump the Secrets. We shouldn't need a second Secrets. We're good with 1. Unfortunately, we do want this to turn into a Yahenni, so I do need to find quite a few more Doom Travelers. So some sort of Aristocrats deck over there. That is exciting. Magic is exciting though, right, TJ? Okay, so I think we just cycle the Carabid because we could hit another Faithless Looting, which we did. Interesting, right? We don't need this many lands, right? Well, actually, I do. I do need to be making land drops, and the reason being has to do with the fact that our hand is looking like it's going to turn into a living end off of Yahenni's expertise. So that means I do need to make the 4th land drop, and it means I kind of think we have to consider dumping the Architects and the Wheel. Because living end, secrets, land does it. And I mean, like, it wouldn't be an amazing board for us. Like, what would it be? Carabit, Architects of Will, and a Dragon Lord. But that's still pretty good. I think that's good enough to win. So why throw away in a couple of turns? Like, next turn, we'll just end step secrets for the... Oh, no, we need one more creature. We need one more creature to be able to search for Yahenni's expertise. It's usually not a problem for us to get the 4th black creature, though. So we'll see if we can't find it. I hope that we do, and I hope the fact that I moved added some... we just lost a Storm, TJ, so I added a bunch of Brutalities to the 75 to try to shore that up. See, I'm worried if I'm looting that's just kind of putting us... We do need another creature, though, before it's going to work. Okay. That solves a lot of problems, actually. So we have 2nd red source. Dominance instead of worrying about all these land drops, I think, is where we want to be. I'll keep 3rd land. Because 3rd land lets us flashback the lootings. So if we were to dominance into living end next turn, I think that'd be good enough just to buy us time, and then we can just start like flashing back our lootings. Like, it resets our opponent's entire board. He gets he doesn't even get the spirit because living end just moves zones. This is gonna be pretty dirty, and we don't have to do it. What's nice about Electro Dominance is we don't have to do it till his end step. Let's go ahead and get a Blood Crypt here. I'm glad you guys tuned in. I'm glad I streamed tonight, TJ. I wasn't thinking about doing it because it's already like 2 in the morning for me. But really appreciate the host. So we'll pass it back during his combat phase or maybe during his end step, depending on what we want to do. We'll dominance. We might get another card out of him, so I don't mind waiting till the end step. Okay, so we dominance in response to that. That's easy. And we might as well deal 1 damage. Actually, what we could do... Well, no, we don't want to do that to the Doom Traveler. We don't want to put it in the graveyard. So let's just Electro Dominance their face for 1. We don't want him to be able to sacrifice this whole board in response to the living end, obviously. So that's where Aristocrats actually could be a bit of an awkward matchup. Oh, no, he has the Cartel Aristocrat. He can still sacrifice his dudes. Opponent didn't think to, though. What am I sitting here thinking? Like, he totally had another, I guess we juked him out. Yeah, he totally had another, do we want to use this on ourselves? We don't have a fetch land. Oh, we do have a tutor, though. Yeah, we should use it on ourselves. Let's Architect of Will on ourselves. Because we have the ability to shuffle. So, like, if I don't want this, we could shuffle this. This isn't very powerful anyway. Right? We don't really want any of this. What I might do is I might just upkeep Mausoleum Secrets for something juicier, like another Living End or a Yahenni's Expertise. We don't really want this. Definitely don't want those. So we can make it so we don't draw those. And he does get the token, and he does get those triggers. But yeah, he totally could have just sacrificed his whole board there. Oh, I meant to upkeep it. That's fine. We definitely want a Secrets, though, before we cycle this Architects of Will. Another thought is we could Brutality here. Actually gonna dump the... Oh no, we shouldn't have dumped the tutor because we know our next 2 cards are duds. That was stupid of me. So he should scry here. I would be very surprised if we didn't see like a Path to Exile cast here. push and a lingering souls. So you get half a lingering souls. It's not bad. I'm sad that I didn't. I mean, I guess we have Faithless Looting. So we can kind of move through some of those dead cards relatively okay. We'll cycle this. We know we're drawing Simeon and a Blackleaf Cliffs, but we can just looting those away. Really should attack first before I do this, but it's not too big of a deal. Do we keep the wheel or do we want... The problem is I don't really want our opponent to gas back up. It's kind of one of those matchups where I don't really want to use the wheel that way. I think I just dump the land and... I mean, we could keep... I don't think we want wheel. I don't think we want wheel. I don't think we want it. I don't think we want to help him gas back up. I think that's a trap. Just chump Dragon Lord. And then he'll push my Architects. Okay. Interesting. So he's not going for a block with the Shambling Vents, he's attacking with it. Okay. Oh, well, it wouldn't be a very profitable block here anyway. Another Wheel of Fate. Guess I'm okay with fourth land. We are a Gehenni's Expertise deck. Other things to think about with the Carabid is you don't get the freedom of choice with whether or not it attacks, so it definitely, in a lot of ways, is the weakest creature in the deck. As powerful as Living End is, like you do have to kind of navigate the board at some point. Yeah, the Dragon Lord's sweet. Like, if he casts anything that's in his yard, he just dies. So the Dragon Lord actually cuts him off of a lot of options. Wonder what graveyard tech he's going to have. So he's actually pretty susceptible to Blood Moon, even though we saw some basics. It's tempting to try the Blood Moon plan. I don't know if we want brutalities against what he's doing. Surgical might be correct. He does have the ability to like sacrifice a bunch of his creatures and then they get brought back with my Living End. We definitely need more graveyard hate than just the surgical. We probably need either multiple surgicals or maybe some Fairy Macabres. The nice thing about Fairy Macabre in a Living End deck is, of course, you're exiling some of the stuff from their graveyard and you're also putting a black creature in the graveyard for Mausoleum Secrets. So maybe instead of just a million brutalities and a bunch of Blood Moons, maybe that should be part of the sideboard. I don't mind the third brutality, but maybe some like Fairy Macabre. The surgical extraction is a tutor target, so I like at least one copy because it's a target for Mausoleum Secrets post board. But maybe these are pretty normal in Living End, so maybe those make sense. All right. Granted, they have a lot more normality in the Cascade versions of Living End, not so much this style. He had a lot of weenies. Maybe the Pyroclasm is good. They were just different CMCs, so I don't think we want explosives. They're all over the place. And maybe just as a catch-all, like, because he might be on Planeswalkers, or there might be an artifact that we need to snipe. Why don't we just run the Bedevil? Just as kind of a catch-all, and then let's cut the Carabids. And I think I'd rather have Archfiend of Ifnir over Kolaghan, Dragon Lord Kolaghan. Don't get me wrong, I like Dragon Lord Kolaghan, but like a lot of post-board games are grindy. I don't think we need the haste effect. And we also don't have as many discard outlets. Oh, that's something else for us to think about. If we don't have as many discard outlets, we probably shouldn't be... oh, we have the whole combo, almost. This hand also doesn't do a whole lot. But I'll keep it. What stinks is it is only one swamp, though, and we have expertise. But hey, that's a mountain. Future mountain right there. Really should lead on the Bloodstained, actually. Because if we just start ripping fetches... Now, all of our fetches are black fetches. Cutthroat. Okay. Dominance. So we could dominance into wheel. We probably, if we are going to dominance into wheel, we probably do it before, we do it after hit, or we do it during his draw step, actually. The reason being is we don't want him to get to make some free plays, and then in the end step we just refill his hand. Like, if we're going to refill, we want to do it when he doesn't benefit the most from it. Like, so he just went to 5 cards, let's just make him dump those. Granted, we're giving him options moving forward, but I think end stepping the dominance is weak as well. Like, basically this play is giving him options, and since we're dumping 2 Blood Moons here, there's only one more left in the deck I don't feel too weird about. So I think I had a lot of valid reasons for wanting to do it during the draw step. We're left with I think it's a better hand. Do we still have creatures in this thing? Thank goodness. We did cut a couple of, rough. So that would be a reason to bring in the explosives. But he was a Lingering Souls deck, so I didn't assume he was going to be on Rest in Peace. But now that we know, we can. I don't tend to put Rest in Peace in my Lingering Souls decks, but it's definitely good here. Yeah, we'll definitely have to bring in the explosives now that we've seen Rest in Peace. That's okay. Like I said, I wouldn't guess that there's Rest in Peace in the Lingering Souls deck we're up against, but you never know. And we get to play the fun game of chicken and see if our deck can actually operate without the graveyard working. Mausoleum Secrets won't have a target other than Living End. We could still suspend a Living End just to sweep the board, but we already have an expertise which would do it. So what's funny is my 2/2 is better than his 1/1. So I think I'm just going to play a Simian Spirit Guide. That is the reality that we are living in, chat. And that's kind of the cool thing about the Living End decks, is that's kind of their plan B. That's kind of their MO. Is, and I'm glad that these at least have a target. We'll fire them off just because we don't want to draw the Living Ends. Like, deck thinning is certainly a thing. This guy's got ley lines, too. That's right. Now, speaking of Living End, we just drew one. So yeah, we could fire off both of these Mausoleum Secrets, and then we're not going to draw... Well, there's only one more Living End. So that's something to think about. Yeah, so I like thinning. We're doing this now because we could draw like a Faithless Looting or whatnot. We'll thin... We'll Secrets, just grabbing the other Living End out of the deck. Yes, opponent, we have targets. This will still work. And Street Rave. See if we hit like a Faithless Looting. Okay, there's the Pyroclasm. Pyroclasm is a little awkward when I put the Simian Spirit Guide in play, but it kills most of my opponent's deck, so I think that's a fine justification. Ooh, Strom's expertise. this also turn off some types of the doesn't the Rest in Peace turn off the Zulaport triggers? Call me crazy. He's on 0 cards, and this doesn't kill us. So I think we just blow up the world. Captain says, yeah, his deck just doesn't function. Well, I mean, he turned off some of what we're doing, but like I think it's just Power Class and play Blackcleave the next turn. Like even if I draw some of our 5 drops, I can cast them. Like I don't think these trigger. Yeah, they're not going to trigger with the Rest in Peace. The Rest in Peace is a bit of a nombo with what's going on in our opponent's deck. Like he's not getting the triggers from the Zulaport or the Blood Artist anymore. So I was sitting there thinking, I was like, I don't think Lingering Souls is the only anti-synergistic thing. You got it. He'll take Expertise. It's the only card that actually does anything at the moment. Alright, let's draw some dudes. We went over like 16 that aren't creatures, right? The only creatures we saw. This is pretty amazing. I mean, how many creatures did we side out? Just 2, 3? So hopefully we'll start just seeing mono creatures and we can just beat them down, I hope. Come on, give me a Street Wraith. Give me something. Gosh, another Mausoleum Secrets. Oh, alright. Come on, creature. The old land go. A little bit of the land go going on here. Okay, here we go. So we get to dump these dead cards. Cast this big boy. A little fast tap on those duels. Here come the dudes. Opponents had enough. Alright. Alright, we showed them. So, Living Secrets. Is it a thing? Probably not. Is it cool? Absolutely. But I just want to show you. I was so excited about this deck. I kind of been doing a little bit of my own testing secretly on this secret tech, but it's no secret. A lot of people are jamming with Dominance. It's just, I really like the idea of Secrets because, again, it doesn't just grab the expertise, it also grabs the living end. And so it pieces it together. And of course, post-board you can grab cool technology like Surgicals and Packs and Brutalities and this and that and Bedevil. So you even have a tutorable artifact removal. Or it could be like a Call Against Command. Like, I thought about Call Against Command too. Yes and no. Call Against Command, though, doesn't have the same... Maybe the command should be there over the second Abrade. I'm not sure. But this is also a consideration. Like, command is command. It's solid. There's plenty of board states where, especially like Affinity, this is going to be better. It's going to be better than Abrade. So maybe we should do that full spectrum just to test them. I like the deck a lot. Kind of sad I just got here. No, you're fine, Captain. If I wasn't going to stream originally tonight, let me pick up a Call Against Command for the deck. I could play like one more quick game. We've been getting like quick matchups. We didn't run into like blue-white control or anything. But yeah, we're just iterating on the deck right now. I'm tweaking it match by match. We're adding cards, we're taking cards away. So now we're trying out some Fairy Macabres and a command for the sideboard. I think 3 Blood Moons is overkill. I think 2 is fine, and I think 3 Collective Brutalities overall, 2 main board, 1 sideboard is a nice split. Deck feels good. Like I said, I think 2 Yahennis to 3 Living End is where we want to be. I think Dominance is still easily the best enabler, just because it's instant speed, it's less mana, it works with the Simian Spirit Guide mana. But Mausoleum Secrets being either A or B of the combo, I think is very underrated. I think somebody else is gonna, figure out an even stronger brew of this at some point. You know, that was one of the reasons why I was kind of brewing it in secret, because I thought I might take it to a paper event, and then I just couldn't get the deck together and whatever. It like my focus right now really isn't, like back in our Robopod days. For those of you that do know Robopod, but it's like Robopod. It's like that. We had a guy take it to a Star City event, and then they named it the wrong thing. They didn't name it the wrong thing necessarily. It might have been Star City that did. And then like somebody was telling me that somebody did like a Robopod video and then didn't even call it Robopod, and they were calling it. So it's like I'm kind of more or less not that I'm done brewing. Brewing is what I do, but I'm kind of done worrying about whether or not people know where the deck comes from, because you just can't. You just it's just. There's just too much. It's too hard to hold on to a deck concept and worry about who did what or what have you. So as far as like, I was like, I could keep building this in secret, but it's kind of fun to share it with my stream, so I'm sharing it with you guys. But I did credit Evan. There were a couple ideas. I saw Evan streaming. Evan's one of my stream teammates. He had a brew of Dominance Living End, but there were no secrets. There was no expertise, or actually, there might have been an expertise in the sideboard. But some of the technology that he was employing, I saw him using the Dragonlord Kolaghan, so I wanted to credit him with some of those little bits and pieces. But anyway, so he'll be excited to get his hands on this version. I don't think Fluffy Wolf has played any of my decks, but I know Evan from time to time will play my brews, which is always fun to see. But yeah, I'm not sure about the mana base yet, guys. Like, it's pretty greedy to have 21 mana sources with a deck that needs to resolve 4 mana cards. Well, for you, Captive, I'll play one more quickie, 1v1. Now, this deck, other than like the Blood Moon and the mana base, is relatively cheap. Especially if you already have your Living Ends. It's really not that expensive of a deck to build. But it's not proven yet, so obviously I wouldn't recommend that you guys invest in it. Just because, as I just said, it's not quite... Oh, we got a match. Just because, as I said, it's not quite succinct, right? Sand's fine. In the dark, it's fine. It's a lot of mana sources, though. It's 4 mana sources, but we're a 17-land deck, so I think I'm okay with Blackleaf Go. Testing an 8 Pyromancer deck. Sounds like fun, Captive. Ooh, we're playing against Mill. This is a good and bad matchup for us. Good because they're milling us. Bad because they'll have a lot of graveyard hate to back up that milling, like maybe even Leyline. So, on one hand, it's like, I'm excited. On the other hand, I'm worried. You know what I'm saying, chat? But I was surprised Evan's list wasn't employing Wheel of Fate, because this is a really sweet card to enable off of the expertise and the Electro. Dominance. Like, why wouldn't you consider playing Wheel? It just lets you tear through the deck. It's just kind of sweet. So there's Dominance. I mean, sure, our hand needs some help, but That's one Secret's down, one Yahenni's down, one Electro Dominance down. Street Wraith. Cycle the Street Wraith. Isn't this an auto win for me? Not necessarily. So there's secrets. Secrets will find Yahenni's, but the problem with Yahenni's is it just casts Wheel of Fate. But, I mean, I do need some help here. Like, I need... I think we just... Well, is there another Yahenni's Expertise? Yeah, there's one more. Like, Expertise into Wheel doesn't really help us, though. It just helps him mill us. Like, I'd rather just Mausoleum Secrets for the living end and then find the enabler naturally. It's actually looting. I don't think I want to be casting the Wheel of Fates. Okay, so there's the living end, and we can Mausoleum Secrets for the Expertise. So what we're going to do is we're going to dump the wheels, because I don't want to be casting those for obvious reasons. End step, we can use the Spirit Guide to cast Mausoleum Secrets to find the Yahenni's, and then we can Yahenni's. So we got there. Well, we didn't get there. We're going to have a ton of creatures. Actually, we should do this in response, so he doesn't mill away the last... he could fetch. We have 9 creatures, so I could find something that's size 9. Yeah, no, Captive, this is not necessarily a good matchup because they're going to have main board graveyard hate. They usually will have some amount of main board graveyard hate. Just because of how the metagame is right now, I wouldn't want to play Mill without some main board graveyard hate myself. I'm trying to guess what I'm trying to go find with the secrets. It's a secret. Yeah, Crypt Incursion. Crypt Incursion's pretty common. So no, I wouldn't say this is a good matchup for us. He also basically cast Ancestral Visions earlier, Visions of Beyond. It's a sweet card in the mill deck. Yeah, obviously you have to do some stuff to make it do that, but... Alright, so let's go get our Expertise. I kind of hope he mills over Dragon Lord for us. Because that would be the Nutter Butters, right? We hit the Dragon Lord. If I already had the combo rolled up my hand, and we had so many black creatures in the graveyard, I would have just tutored for Dragon Lord, and then we'd pitch it to the looting, and then combo off and get the haste and just kill him. So, maybe we'll get lucky and we'll mill Dragon Lord here. I don't think we did. Nope. Ah, we drew him. Ooh, unlucky. We did hit a living end. That's unfortunate. So he's surgicaling the living end. We just milled into the graveyard. So no, I would assume this is not a good matchup because this guy's even got main board surgicals. He has spared no expense. So let's play the Gravestones. Brutality. Culligan's Command would kill both a crab and the Mesmeric Orb. We do care about Mesmeric Orb. A Abrade is an efficient way to kill Orb or Crab. So we'll bring in the Culligan's Command and the Abrade. I don't think I want anything else. Because Explosives isn't really that mana efficient at dealing with those things. His mana base looked really basic. Like we saw him draw 2 basic islands. So I don't think we want the Blood Moon. I don't think we want anything else. Cuts. Carabids. We could probably cut Archfiend. I don't really want to cut much else. Maybe one Expertise, because we're just using it as a tutor target. Wheel of Fate is awkward in the matchup. Maybe we'll cut one. Chimera says, nice layout. Thank you. A friend of mine built it for me. I'm sorry that you're not feeling well, Chimera. I run it as a 3-of. Yeah, Cryptic Incursion's great in Mill. What about Theory? It'll fight over Surgical. I think I'd rather fight over Surgical with the Gravestones. But yes, technically, Fairy Macabre would fight over... that's a good point. That is a good point. If we get a game 3, remind me to make that switch. It's a little too late to do it now. But yes, I would assume this is not a good matchup. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe being Mill is a good thing right now because you get to run mainboard Graveyard Hate, and there's a lot of players doing some Graveyard Hate shenanigans. So let's dump the Dragon Lord into the yard. I've really been liking the 1 of Dragon Lord. That was technology that we borrowed from Evar0s. Really appreciate that technology. Definitely good call on his part. Yeah, so the Secrets finds both parts of the combo. So Secrets can find both Living End, and because all of our cycling creatures, the only creatures in the deck that aren't black are the Simian Spirit Guides. Every other creature in our list is black, even the sideboard Macabres, obviously. So it's not hard at all, I've noticed in the playtesting, for us to get the 4 black creatures to be able to go find Yahenni's Expertise. So we're playing a couple Expertise. So in the combo, Mausoleum Secrets is either, if you're missing Living End, it's Living End, or if you're missing Expertise, it's Expertise. Main board, I'm running some Brutalities just because some of the decks are really weak to This Is Great against, so that's a tutor target as well, if we're missing either piece of the combo, obviously. And then post board, there's a plethora of black cards that it can tutor for. And some of the hate that we're going up against is artifact graveyard-based hate, so having like things like Call Against Command, Bedevil, to blow up those problematic things like, Relic of Progenitus, etc. It's fine. But yeah, his mana base looked relatively basic, so I didn't see any point in bringing in the Blood Moon. So he takes my Braid. Could be a Mesmeric Orb. I think the card's sweet. Especially since post-board, we kind of have to get a little bit more grindy because we're going to be fighting against hate. I mean, maybe I'm trying too hard to justify it. Thinking about surgicaling me, opponent. Just due to, maybe he's thinking about surgicaling the looting. That sucks that we threw away 20 play points just for me to show you guys how bad the matchup is against something like Mill. Assuming this is Mesmeric Orb. Okay. Well, there go both our Gravestones. Just the way that he's playing makes me feel like he has the surgical already in his hand. So he's looking at each and every card that we're doing. Our hand's so bad I might even consider suspending this Wheel of Fate. Brutality. Yeah, our hand is that bad. We do have a flashback looting we could do. There's always the hard cast Simian line. Nah, I'm waiting. I'm probably just next turn gonna Brutality him. Oh, or not. What sucks is this will reload him though, so maybe this is a mistake. Maybe this is just not good in the matchup. I'm sure there are plenty of matchups where we'll just not want, excuse me, we'll not want to have wheels. And again, I could have flashbacked looting. think getting a clock going is better. But bridge. Okay. How much grave artifact hate are we running? Oh, we brought in some of it. Surgical the braid. Okay. Well, but Wheel is going to restock his hand. I don't know if Bridge is that big of an issue now. It's not like they can play out their hand that terribly quickly. He also didn't take the Abrade out of my graveyard for whatever reason. Oh yeah, Chimera? Dominance. Okay. Nothing to go with it though. I think we flashback looting. Street Wraith and a land. Dump the expertise. It was just a tutor target anyway. Dump the Spirit Guide. Oh, that's unfortunate. Maybe I'm supposed to hold this land because we have another Faithless Looting. Yes, I would assume this is a horrendous matchup. I mean, it sucks game one that he had the main board Surgical, and we dumped a Faithless, or we dumped a Living End right before we were about to go for it. I'm assuming he's Archive Trapping us, if he's Field of Ruining us. Yep. Do we even have any Living Ends left? I have one. I have one Living End left. Ooh, yeah. Okay, so you can cast the Archive Trap off that we lose. That is a sweet synergy. That is freaking cool. I have seen Mission Briefing, of course, used with Force of Will in Legacy, but this is probably my favorite usage of mission briefing I've ever seen. I am not mad at all losing to that, chat. That's freaking sweet. It makes me want to build what our opponent's playing. Yeah, we just lost. There goes the rest of our deck. Yep, that's the last Living End. That's sweet. I'm not even mad. We've used Mission Briefing on my stream in the past with Force of Will, but I never thought about using it with something like Archive Trap. That's freaking awesome. I'm not even mad. That's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Beautimus. That's a really cool way to use Mission Briefing. Okay. Well, I'm going to go to bed, guys. It's 2:47 in the morning for me, and I do have work tomorrow, but I'm going to go find us another stream. So definitely don't go away. I'll bring up the deck list for you guys to look at while I find us another streamer. Do you guys have any recommendations? Especially since there's 20 of us here, I definitely want to send you guys to another. Looks like Squad Chief is building some sort of Battle of Wits deck. Brad Evar0s has he's playing Legacy Painter. That's freaking sweet. You guys want to see some Legacy Painter? It is very sweet. Yeah, I will. I definitely will enjoy the rest. I need it. Do you guys... Oh man, Copter? Copter in Painter. That's sweet. You're in for Painter? Alright, let me host Brad. And I'll see you guys on the next BrewSpytheMagicGuy show. Thanks for coming, guys. Alright, see ya. Good night. Have a good night. Alright, goodbye.